Welcome to a special edition of Active Citizens Parliament, where we interview some of these gubernatorial candidates for the Anambra State elections. Now, today we speak with a candidate who stands out, not just as the only woman in the race for Anambra State governorship, but as a voice for reform, inclusion, and people-centered leadership. Representing the African Action Congress, AAC, CHIOMA G IFEMELUDIKE brings a background in advocacy and public engagement, along with a bold vision for the state. But beyond the campaign messages, who is she and why should Anambra trust her with its future? Joining me in the studio is Miss IFEMELUDIKE, right? And of course, Ifeoma Oji, as usual. Good evening, ma. How nice to have you in the show. How are you feeling?
Good evening. I feel great.
You can see that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going straight to the questions, ma. You're not only representing the AAC, a party known for its activism and progressive ideas shared by Umoyele Sowore, but you are the only woman in this governorship election. Why are you contesting for this particular seat?
Okay, before I proceed to answer your question, it's CHIOMA Grace IFEMELUDIKE.
IFEMELUDIKE, pardon me. You know you have a very rare surname.
Yeah, so I like to always make it a statement. Yeah, so I think the issue is not actually a gender-based, particularly a gender-based issue. That I'm the only woman running this race. I find it as an honor, but then I don't think I should be voted because I'm a woman. Yes, I should be voted because I'm credible, and I've got capacity, and I've got character. And then, the feminine attributes comes in because women are very unique people, characters. We create, we bring things to life. We nurture, we give birth. So this attribute is also an addition, an exception as well.
It is.
I think Anambra should be very happy, grateful that God is bringing a woman at this time. And like I always say, is a time for women to lead, this revolution that is coming. It must be a women-led revolution.
All right. So I'm just going to refer back to your history in the media and activism space, and also in entertainment. And I'm asking now, how does that translate? How do you translate that experience into executive leadership, the #1 seat in Anambra State?
Yeah, I think I was made for this moment. Yes, all the experience I've had from my career path, through activism as a young citizen, a young adult, it has prepared me all these years for this very moment, for this very campaign and the elections coming, and eventually when I become governor. Because I, for one, have the experience of what it means to experience poverty and hardship. I have seen it. I've seen how people struggled. I've had my own personal struggles as a citizen. So this will enable me to know the right things, the right buttons to push when I become the executive leader of this great state.
I like that you also mentioned that. All right, I'm going to let you ask your question, but you mentioned something about having come out from poverty and understanding the plight of people when it concerns poverty. And I'm asking, Anambra is a commercial hub. We have Onisha Market, we have Nnewi. They are known for big markets, and the big markets that they have and the trade that they have going on in these places. Now I'm asking, what infrastructure do you intend to bring in order to better stabilize that and maximize the capacity that we already have in Anambra State?
Yeah, I like to say that I wasn't particularly, I didn't particularly struggle with so much poverty, because I can't boast of that. I came from an average family, even though I lost my dad at a very tender age. But I can't really say because my father was able to, leave behind some assets which enabled us to have a bit of an average life, good education and all of that. So I can't really say it was poverty. I'm just trying to correct that in case someone picks that. It's not actually correct. But I've had my own personal struggles because of my personal decisions to be self-sufficient. So to answer your questions, Anambra State is such a unique place, and with trade and commerce, I think what naturally should come to the heart of any leader that is ready to serve his or her people should be transportation, making sure that the means of transportation is available for commuters, for traders. So in the areas of transport, good roads, these are very essential amenities that can aid trade and commerce in Anambra State and eventually top or increase the revenue collection.
I like that you said that. So
you stated in one of your interviews that the greatest security is when you empower people. So I really want to know the mechanisms you've employed to achieve that.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest empowerment is education. But sadly, our leaders don't want to provide this to the people. We need to build schools. We need to make sure the already built schools are up to the the standards that this that our educational system should meet. We need to also look into free education, if not for at least the indigent people. There are communities that can't afford to pay tuition fees. There must be something government must do, because this is the number one priority of government. So you talk about security, which is linked to empowerment, education, making sure that children are taken off the streets. Look around the city. You see too many children hawking. That is insecurity looming. So you empower them by making sure that they are developed mentally, intellectually. And then furthermore, for the older ones, you put them through skill acquisition.
Okay.
Because education doesn't just end in the formal, skill acquisitions and making sure that they are duly employed.
All right. And also, I remember there was an interview you made, and you said you are working towards, or when you achieve, when you win the governorship election, that you're working towards having 2 companies established in Anambra State, at least 2 companies in a year. What are the practical steps that we are looking at in order for you to achieve such monumental feats?
I think basically the agricultural sector is very vast. Just the agricultural sector is enough to create more than 2 industries in a year. That's the least we can do with all the resources available to us. I was just at Omo community in Anyamelum, and I was able to see rice production right in my face.
Beautiful.
In the soil. But who is enhancing this? By the time you empower these traditional farmers and promote them from the cultural way of farming to the mechanized farming, you're going to have industries. I saw a documentary about a young man. He does the entire production, from farming rice, cultivating it, harvesting it, taking it through the machines to extract, separate, bagging it, and selling.
Beautiful.
And this guy can actually export this product in his name. That is an industry. Imagine making sure that individuals own this kind of.
Beautiful.
Too many.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I should just go first, because this question is something that a lot of people have been asking. Revenue generation without overtaxation should be key. But now, what's your approach to growing the state's internally generated revenue? You just mentioned agriculture now, but what is something that you're going to do differently from the current administration led by Professor Chukwuma Soludo?
Okay, let me tell you what I'm doing right now. Through the campaign trail, what we discovered was that the polity gets heated because there's a lot of ego at play, self ambitions and all of that. So we told ourselves, I and my team, that we're a young or youth candidacy, and we can afford to be tagged along or dragged into this mediocre system of campaigning. So what we had to do was to adopt a strategy, which was talent discovery. And trust me, that is huge. And I'm not just going to, have you see all of this through my campaign. When I become governor, talent is a resource that we must look towards. The entertainment industry. I'm a Nollywood actor. I'm a film producer. And our movies are doing so well. Why are we not harnessing these lucrative industries? The entertainment industries. We can actually make stars who would look at the kind of celebrities we're making in the music industry who are going. Look at the amount of fan base all over the world who are appreciating things as little as music they make from our indigenous languages and stories. That for me is another way of raising enormous resources, sufficient enough to build our state.
So I've seen some of your videos. I've watched some of your videos, and one of the major critics in Anambra, you have been criticizing Anambra government when it comes to insecurity. So I really want to know, we already know that insecurity, kidnappings and court violence has been ravaging Anambra state. So I really want to know, since you are critiquing the governor of Anambra state for the fact that being the chief security officer of the state, he hasn't been keeping or doing the things that he is supposed to do, keeping to his mandate. So I really want to know, what are the your architecture, what do you want to do differently that he is probably not doing?
Technology. I'd expect a professor who lives abroad, has his family abroad, to know this approach. For instance, if an incident happens in the city of Oka, what do we have? What evidence do we have? We saw the death of a politician in America in less than how many hours? I think about 24 hours. They got a culprit. That is how you secure a state. You need to tell criminals that they can't come and waste innocent lives and go scot-free. I don't need many people. I need just one scapegoat. And the only way I can get a scapegoat is to have a CCTV all around the capital of the state, and even in the rural areas. Who says we can't have CCTV in our rural areas? If the rural areas are giving us revenues through the local government, then we must have CCTV, because that is what the revenue is about. And security is paramount. If you have the security of a state running, you'll have investors come to stay. And when you have investors come to stay, then you got yourself a lot of money.
Thank you so much for that. I believe
there's a lot of it anyway, but that's one.
I believe every government would want to be remembered for one thing or the other. So I really want to know, I mean, you've talked about a lot of improvements or a lot of developments that you want to bring forth to Ndi Anambra. So I want to know, what is that one thing that after office you could boast, or people could say, oh, this is what she left as her legacy?
Human development. Yes, I want to see our women in the markets doing well. We don't have to tax them to death. Yes, I want to see that young people in Anambra State are empowered. I want to see that the state,
I'm actually talking about just women. Just women.
I'm not just saying that.
Other people might actually feel marginalized. Don't you think so? You say
because they're always the vulnerable part of our society. And let me mention the disabled. Yes, my heart is drawn to them because I know their challenges. Because when you go outside the shores, it's only in Nigeria you build roads without considering the disabled. How are they going to go across the pedestrian? Who cares? I saw a woman who is, I don't know, she's disabled. She's visibly a bit, I think, crippled, because she walks with her hands on the floor. Have you ever imagined walking with she has 2 kids to fend for. It was difficult to jump on the public transport. Someone had to lift her, and he was a man. Do you think she wants a man to lift her? Who cares? At that point, does it really matter?
No.
All that matters is, please just hop in the vehicle and let's move. Do you know the challenges of the disabled? So it's not just the women, the vulnerable. There are a list of people who should come first in every society. The disabled, the pregnant, the elders. These are my priorities. They must be prioritized.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut you there, Foma, because I have a question for you. And in another interview that you made, you said that one of the
interviews.
Yes, I have to do my research. You said that one thing that you expected from this current administration was that when they came into office, that they should have hit the ground running. All right, and it seemed that though they took a lot of time before they started making any sort of change or whatever.
They haven't even been able to make any.
Okay, all right, you said that. But I'm asking, within 100 days in office, if you do become the governor of Anambra State, what are the things that we should look out for from you?
Yes, I like to give our state capital a lift, a facelift.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I don't think it has what it takes. First of all, even in the road networks, it's so tough getting about in the state. So I'm going to give it a facelift. I'm going to make sure the transportation is, I just look at it's all crappy vehicles on the road conveying people. Shouldn't be. So like I said, I want the capital to have a facelift, because when there's a facelift and people can have a conducive environment, you attract investors. And you know, when you attract investors and tourists, there are lots of things people should come to Anambra State to see, you know. So when you attract investors and tourists, then you're bringing money into the state.
Okay, so you're
and I'll have so much money to take care of my
So
people.
within 100 days in office, we're expecting you to refurbish Oka.
In the areas of transportation, security, environment.
We just chakam it.
Please. And by the way, I'm not going to do it alone. Like I always say, it's not a one-man job. That's the problem with our country.
Yes.
We keep thinking it's a messiah job. No. All of us are going to do the job.
Okay, so I wanted to ask something, because it's something that has been in the system or in governance for quite a long while now. This issue of godfatherism, we know it is always it has been in politics for a very long time, and Anambra is not left out. So we really want to know if you could tell us your candidacy, and if there is possibility of them influencing, or rather them dictating, you know, what you would do when you emerge victorious for this election you're vying for.
Oh, well, I mean, for those who know me, know that I'm not a push around. I know what I want, and I'm very, very sure. And I'm also sure that the people that allowed me, a woman, of my age and status, to take up this race, appreciate my character and my personality, and they trust. I think the uniqueness of my personality is why I am running this race under my political party, the African Action Congress, because we don't have any room or space for godfatherism. What we look out for is competence, consistency of character, and credibility. That is what our, you know, motto stands for. So if you're less of these things, nobody really cares to tell you what to do.
Okay. Now I'm going to also ask. We know for so long that APGA has had such a stronghold in Anambra State, and the AAC party is relatively new. It doesn't have such strong footing here in Anambra State. Now, with barely a month to the elections, or 2 months to the elections now, do you think that AAC, the party in which you're vying from, has the capability and credibility to deliver Anambra State to you?
Yeah, well, the thing is, our people, and for everyone watching and listening, we need to be very careful with our choices. I was saying to a group of people in the community I visited this morning, I said to them, you know, we keep saying Nkani, but truly is this ours? If we really look at the pattern for a long time coming, is this really ours? Or a few people taking advantage of the fact that this was actually built, you know, to enable Ndibo, the party which was, you know, created by our own veteran, our own warlord, Odume Gwojuku, had a reason. He wanted a political solution. Do we still have that passion, or has it died somewhere? And now we have opportunists, people who just want to take advantage of the heart Ojukwu sold politically. That is where the question starts. I gave an illustration. I said, if you have a very sound engine, a Benz, a 2025 model, you know it's a very sound engine, right? Very upgraded. Does it matter if a person who doesn't have any driving experience gets on it? Do you think that that car would move?
No.
Now the vehicle is APGA. Have we questioned, who are the people driving this vehicle? Do they have what it takes to give us the very idea which gave birth to this party? Every time we vote a party, not that the party shouldn't be considered. I mean, the ideology is very important. Just like the vehicle is a sound engine, so as the driver of this vehicle should be a person of character, should be a person that has a heart to deliver good governance to the very people that voted them. But what is happening is we allow the very wrong people who have no conscience, who have no plan for the people. And when you look around us, over the years of claiming Nkabo Nkanye doesn't reflect on the faces of the Anambra State. We must make a better decision.
Okay, talking about...
An African Action Congress is that.
Talking about plans. In one of your campaign banner, you stated that, Anambra can be great again if we have or they have the right party, the right policy, and the right leader. So I wanted to know, you are out of all the things that you've mentioned that you're going to do for Anambra State. I see you're clearly questioning, Anambra State, the government's policies. So I really want to know, what are those new policies that you want to set as a standard for Anambra State?
Like I clearly stated, in terms of policies, first of all, we're looking at diversifying the economy and making sure that our people get to utilize the potentials that we have within. And let me re-emphasize again, because it seems we can't overemphasize the role of agriculture, especially because we have a lot of, for instance, we're known to cultivate a lot of cassava. We have palm kernels, and we have the lands. The problem is the people are kind of there's a kind of distraction. People tend to want it quick and faster. We need a reorientation. So we're going to make sure that through our manifesto and also equipping these traditional farmers, this community of people who are known as farmers, and also in the areas of manufacturing and industrialization, this is very important, because if you look at how the commerce and trade in Anambra State, you'll find out that we have potentials to have industries here, and also importantly to make sure that we have a seaport where we can also have importation made easy from the Anambra. So if importation is closer to us, it will help business and trade.
Okay. So I like that response, and we love the fact that you have foresight when it comes to how to maximize what we have in Anambra State. Now I'm going to ask a question. So your name came into the spotlight few years ago with the allegations involving Apostle Johnson Suleiman, and now there are lots of controversies surrounding this, and I'm asking, how do you respond to critics who now say that incident compromises your moral standpoint as a leader?
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it makes my person even much more attractive. Because a leader who is ready to give accounts is a leader you must have. A leader who understands that the actions they take must be questionable, that they can actually look at some part of their lives, discard it, and get better. We must look out for perfect people, because the end one is either you're imperfect or you're hiding something. So if somebody is bold enough to come out and say, hey, I did this, and take responsibility, that is a personality you must trust.
Look out for. You said something about being bold and coming out. So now say that your decision to come forward about this was politically motivated. And some are saying that, you had other plans in mind in order to just come out upfront without being questioned or it being used against you in the long run. Are you saying now that was a genuine act of transparency, or was it politically motivated?
There's been a lot of rhetorics, but that's fine. But what is consistent, what is constant, is my truth and my story and how I chose to tell it. First of all, it had to do with my personal work spiritually.
Okay.
Because it came to that point where I had to account, to take off a burden. You know how you take off a burden and you feel lighter. And also because there's been a question of other people, other victims who have been handpicked and, not, and I'm, as an activist, as a humanitarian, I can sit back and watch people treated in some certain way, and I know that there's a bit of truth. I can't tell the truth of another person, but I can tell my own truth, and through my truth, I can mirror some, certain evidences that can give clarity to people. So it was a responsibility on my part to make sure that there are no further victims. One, very important.
Victims
In the future, like people who could become this thing and are, told that they can't tell their story, or whenever they care to talk about it, that they're going to be arrested or oppressed.
Yeah.
So I had to stay in the gap and say, no, you probably have done it before, but you can't continue. If I be the last person, if I have to come out and say my truth, then so be it. And for me, that is courage.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask one last question here. I believe everything that we have been talking about here has been just insecurity, mostly insecurity and agricultural sector. You innovate, bringing up innovative ideas as regards agriculture. And I really want to know, Abuja, when we talk about Abuja, we talk about Lagos and some other states. Tech is booming in other states, and it's as if we are leaving that behind. Is there no plans for, tech in Anambra State? Because, there are a lot of educated youth in Anambra State. So is there no plan for anything like tech for them?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, in the area of security, if you remember, the first thing I said was technology. The cyber security, as we speak right now internationally, is big, is huge business. Even in academics, people go for those courses because after you study such courses, you become, very attractive for jobs. So cyber security is a very lucrative sector that we must look into. So technology makes security easy. It makes agriculture easy. Technology is one thing that you apply with every other sector. So if you look at any sector that is working right now, let's say, for instance, tax collecting, or let's say violators, traffic violators. Do you know how outside the shores of the country how violators are caught? It's through technology. So it takes away touts of the street. It takes away all the crisis and chaos that comes with. So when you have the needed technology around, it brings down the cost of governance. So yes, under my leadership, in my governance, technology will be top priority.
All right,
every sector.
Still talking about technology. Now we have what would I call it, traditional technology. You have been public about your stance with how the current administration in Anambra State has excluded the traditionalists or people who worship traditionally, and you made mention about the fact that one of the reasons that has led these people into this act and this form of worship is the fact that you come out from school, there's no job and all of that. And I'm asking, your type of government, will it be a government that includes all form of worship, or would it exclude some sort of worship?
Yeah, my party, the African Action Congress, and I personally will believe in freedom of expression of worship. I don't think anyone should be told what they want to worship, as long as that freedom does not infringe on the next person. Yeah, so people are free to be Buddhists, traditionalists, Christians, and that's it. But don't encroach into other people's comfort areas.
I get that.
Don't be too noisy and all of that. So I don't have a problem. I don't have any. I think what the government missed out was the fact that, like you stated, that some of this overzealousness we see with traditional worshippers is probably because of lack of employment. If they were duly employed, a lot of people won't be in church. If there's enough employment, the churches, the crusades will be you won't find
all right
people.
So we're talking about employment and education. This all boils down again to providing employment opportunities for these people after they're done with school. Now you are a very special candidate, even as much as the fact that we are not concentrating on your gender as a woman, but we can't ignore that fact that you are the only female candidate vying for this position in Anambra State. And it is very obvious that there is poor representation of women in politics, governance, even in Anambra State. So I am asking, what are your plans and policies into seeing that we have more women involved in governance and in politics in Anambra State?
Yeah, I think basically is to, first of all, make sure that women are not harassed, to make sure that women are well protected in this in the political sphere, to make policies and laws that protect the rights of women. But I also say that women must learn that nobody is going to come and hand them the responsibility to lead. Women must meet up their expectations. There's been a lot of I've tried to engage a lot of young women, to actually understand their standpoint with politics, and there's been a lot of I don't know the right word to use, but the orientation, the mindset for me has been scored low, because for most women, life, and especially in our terrain, in our state, most women prefer to just grow up, get married, have a man take care of them. Politics is like more of a burden, and then because it now looks like politics is for a certain kind of women, they wanya. There's what kind of women. So these are all the mindsets. There's kind of and also the fact that women tend to be intimidated by the male folks. So all that has built up this kind of mindset that is a man's business, man's world, so let's just stay away from it. So that's what I'm saying. Women need to up their game. They need to up their game and learn that this field is for both gender.
Exactly.
And nobody's going to hand it to you. You're probably going to fight for your own.
So I just want to ask one last question. I didn't know I would ask this question, but let me just throw it to you. I mean, in Nigeria here, we see those top officials come out for a position, a leadership position, and they end up kind of campaigning that when they get into that position, that they will do wonders, signs and wonders. And the minute they are being voted into that position, you see them lagging behind, you see them looting money, you see them enriching their pockets, you see them spending recklessly. So I really want to know, what are your plans to make sure that this is not attached to your own portfolio?
Are you asking if I'm not going to be that type of
exactly,
politician?
Exactly.
That's where your question is. And I'm saying to you that I'm not. But I think what we must look to is strengthening our policies, our system. Because humans will be humans. And if we allow humans get into the wrong system, it kind of maybe pollutes them. But I'm not saying I'm going to be polluted, because I'm a very strong person. I have a very strong will. And I think what gives me that much confidence in my person is because I'm a humanitarian. I don't like to see people suffer. So that is a strong point for me, because when I become governor, I don't like mediocre things. I don't like to be in a bad. Because for him, we're not actually from the same background. Neither do we share the same
ideology.
He's good luck. I'm CHIOMA G, and I'm a force. I'm an experience.
All right.
I started doing personal empowerment and development of people around me even before I knew governance was knocking on my door. I've always had interest in developing people, and that interest is never going to die. That when I become governor, not after. So I love to see people come. I love to be in a clean and good environment. I love good things.
Of course.
And I want it to transcend everyone around me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up, 2 questions. We saw the pre-voter registration energy in the southeast with the Southwest leading Osun State over 500,000 pre-registered votes, and Lagos following closely. But when you come to the Southeast, we are seeing 1,000 pre-registered votes, 2,000 pre-registered votes. What do you think is the main reason for this voter apathy that we are seeing here? Then secondly, just so you wrap it up together, what are the challenges that you faced in your in you vying for this position in Anambra State?
Okay, to answer your first question, I think it's saddening that our people are losing much interest. But I think we need to look in it. The Southeast, Anambra State, we need to look in it. You know, we need a political, would I say revolution? And not in a violence way, but then to understand what we really want politically, because politically we're really nowhere to be found. And I think I blame our leaders. First of all, what is the platform? How united are we? How much love do we have for each other? It seems like a very trivial point, but love is strong. Love is strength. When people come together, they're united with one vision. You say, can two work together except they agree? But we're so divided, different orientations. Some people want this, some people want that, some people are going for this, and then our leaders fundamentally don't care. They take advantage of every platform, not building a viable platform for negotiation.
So you think the Southeast is marginalized?
It's not a question of marginalization now. It's a question of preparedness. Capacity. What do you have to offer? Nobody is going to come and knock on the table and give you anything. We must work together, first of all, identifying our own limitations. Until we find that our limitation one is self-centeredness, greed. You know, just during elections, some of us are playing football, and at some point, some people were saying no voting, no election, no voting in our land. What was that? And after some days, someone came again and said, go and get your PVCs. After the North had collected PVCs in numbers, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. We must start galvanizing, building a platform, going on a round table and having confronting conversations until we're able to build a platform that is for the Igbo child, for Ndi Igbo. Even if it's not a particular name, but let's at least have a forum that is united, that has force. You can't, a house divided cannot stand. You must have a stand. And that foot standing is love. Love puts it together. So these are the very fundamental issues that Ndibo must look into. Until that is done, every other thing is just going to keep. I mean, look at the Southeast, in the areas of insecurity. Look how much souls, innocent blood has spilled on our soil. You think that doesn't count?
There was one major one I saw on your social media platform. Take one Emmanuel also.
Oh yeah, that's my brave friend who was gonna call, but it's fine because we failed him. The system failed him, the people failed him, and it still boils down to the people uniting themselves. Like I say to my own structure, I can't do this alone. I need you people. I need your strength. I need your unity. I need your love. And you will be the very foundation I stand on.
Still talking about what you need, just to wrap it up again, I asked about the challenges that you have faced in your run for governor. No, you can't be up with it. This is a safe space.
Oh, wow.
What are some of the challenges?
I actually am a very blunt and straightforward person, you can tell. So, but I have to be very sincere that, I've had challenges, which is natural, but I've also had support. I mean, look at this opportunity, talking with you, pretty ladies, intelligent conversation. How many of our young people are able to do this? So for me, this is winning. Winning is not always on the ballot, though I am going to win them on the But winning doesn't end there. This is winning. That I can pour my heart and then get to have that kind of experience, meet people like you, get to connect with the very people that matter, is winning for me. And I don't see challenges, I only see victories.
So I like that. You don't see challenges, you only see victory. And that is all we are wishing you from here in Active Citizens, that at the end of the day, when all is said and done, there will be victory at the end of the day. Thank you very much, Ms. CHIOMA G IFEMELUDIKE. I hope I got it right this time. For joining us in the conversation. It was a great conversation, and we really enjoyed that. Of course, my co-host Ifeoma Odi for doing this with us as usual. It was really interesting. And to our VVIP viewers for always sharing, liking, commenting. We see you, we appreciate you, and we're encouraging that you continue. If you are yet to follow us across all social media platforms, please endeavor to do so. Find us at Active Citizens and subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. Find me also on my personal page at Sharon Enemchuku. Ifeoma,
you can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miss Alex.
Her Excellency, where can they find you?
CHIOMA G IFEMELUDIKE and CHIOMA IFEMELUDIKE _ Instagram, TikTok IFEMELUDIKE _ TikTok IFEMELUDIKE IFEDIKE.
All right.
IFE_DK.
Okay. All right. So till we see you tomorrow morning for Morning Pulse, do have a good evening.